So would you fancy doing a review with me today? How about we take a look at this? This would be the SDCC exclusive Death's Head. Is he any good? How about we find out together in the latest GotBot True review? Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. Please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. And hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you would be kind enough to help me out and in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time, and you could become a channel member as well. And this is Death's Head, the Marvel Legends Death's Head, and I'm very interested to compare him to the Marvel Infinite Death's Head to see how they stack up. What do you think? Good idea? I think it's a good idea. This guy is certainly much bigger, but does that mean he's better? Well, how about we find out together, you and I, when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Yes? Did you know that the Marvel character Death's Head was related to both Doctor Who and Transformers as well? Did you know that a new Marvel Legends Death's Head was released and revealed at SDCC 2024? And did you know that that release, at least here in Canada, became available via GameStop? I can't speak for other locations though. Yes? No? Maybe so? Well, we're gonna take a closer look, of course, at this guy. This is Death's Head box, and on this side we have his, I guess his body. You can see his right hand has been removed. Did you know that he could replace his right hand with other implements, such as his axe, or his mace, or his spear? And his other hand is capable of holding his shield. Who knew? Did you know that on the other side of the box, we have the exact same artwork? And finally, did you know that he's very powerful? Though I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what these numbers actually refer to because it just says power down here. Do you know what they refer to? And finally, did you know that Death's Head often speaks in questions? You probably picked up on me doing that in this review, right? He is typically labeled as a bounty hunter, but don't call him that. That's not how he sees himself. Do you know what he would prefer to be known as? Yes? No? Maybe so again? He prefers to be known as a freelance peacekeeper. I don't know if I would necessarily call him a peacekeeper though. Would you? Anyway, that's it for the box. Would you like to see what else he comes with? Such as two closed fist hands for both arms. And I love the paint on these spikes that are on his knuckles, don't you? Plus, he comes with this shield that's seen some better days because of the notches on it. And, though we'll see these later, his axe, I'm calling this a spear, and his mace. And did you know that they could go in the back of the shield? I didn't. He can also hold the shield. And, don't forget, these three can also replace his right hand, if you didn't already know. And do you know what we have here? We have the Marvel Infinite Death's Head alongside the new Marvel Legends Death's Head. The Marvel Infinite one is, of course, much smaller, and I do find that while it has good articulation, a lot of the materials used on it feel somewhat like rubbery plastic. It's okay. Did you know that the hands of this version of Death's Head, the Marvel Infinite one, can also be unplugged so that you can put his mace and his axe in there? He also does have his shield and his cape. But in case you were unaware, his cape is, it's a soft rubbery plastic, but it's hard enough that you really can't move it out of the way. You could try, and by all means, give it a try if you want to try bending it up. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how well that's gonna work out for you. This can go on his back, and there are a couple of little spaces down underneath where you can put the axe and the mace. Did you know that I already did a full review of the Marvel Infinite guy though? Probably not, because it was really, really old. It's up in the cards. I think it might have been True Review number 84? The card will be able to tell you, because I'm not 100% sure right now. So let's take him out of it and focus on the new version of Death's Head. Can this guy transform? No. As such, are we able to give him a score for transformation? No. He's going to have to default to a 0. Do you think that's fair? I think it's the only way that we can probably go, yes? But we can give this guy marks for his coloration as well as his articulation. Let's do the coloration first, because while this is certainly Death's Head, it's not really the look that we're particularly going for. Death's Head, in case you didn't know, was created by a rich guy named Lupix. And Lupix had a wife, and that wife's name was Pyra. And did you know that Pyra had a role in Death's Head? She kind of changed the plan a little bit. You see, Lupix's plan was to make a body that basically his consciousness and his persona could kind of live in, his soul, if you will, could live in for eternity. I don't know if that was a good idea either. Pyra gave the cyborg, I suppose we could call him, a personality of his own, a hunter, a bounty hunter-esque type personality, if you will. And the first bounty was going to be none other than, can you guess? Can you guess? That's right, her husband. Methinks she didn't exactly love him very much. He would eventually travel through time, and he would eventually come in contact with the Doctor that would take him out of the Transformers universe into the Marvel universe, and he has tangled with everyone from Shockwave to Spider-Man to Doctor Who. I think his first victim, I suppose you could say, might have been Bumblebee. I'm not sure now. I can't really remember back. But what I do remember is that his very early body had brown gloves and had green kind of torso and vest, and his flap down in front here was red. So the clothing isn't right, but you know what? The yellow teeth, the red horns, the silver on the arms, all of that is right. So we sort of have to try and split the difference here a little bit. In terms of his body, the guy is probably a 10, wouldn't you say? In terms of his clothing, really, the blue would have to go changed to green. I suppose the yellow in the center is okay, because that is there. Change the blue to green, change the gloves to brown, change the skirt in the front all to red, and the boots to green. And he might be more acceptable as that earlier iteration. That said, I don't mind this look for the guy at all. I'm going to give it a solid 9. Don't you think that's fair? So while we have a 9 and technically a 0, that would mean that this guy is about a 4.5, but he's way better than a 4.5. In fact, why don't we take a look at his size? Next to Earthrise Optimus Prime, and Earthrise Optimus Prime is a Voyager. I would venture to say that this guy might be more in scale with a modern leader class, or might be in scale maybe with the traditional Voyager size, which is a bit bigger than this lad. I would say he's roughly the height of Toy World's Hegemon, and honestly, though I don't have that as of this recording, or have as of this recording, I do have Hegemon here. I don't have him down here with me though. I don't have the 86 Optimus Prime as of this recording, and I'm really, really, really interested to see how this guy scales with both Hegemon and 86 Optimus. Maybe we'll look at that when I do the review for 86 Optimus. So kind of stay tuned if you're wondering how this lad matches up to that. Why don't we do the articulation so that we can sort of get out of here? I'm going to take his accessories off the back for now, if you don't mind. Head. It can go left and right. It can look up. Way up before it pops off the ball joint. It could look down. The shoulders, they can go all the way T-pose, I think, don't you? We have an elbow to 90 degrees, bicep swivel, and a wrist rotation with the open hand, a wrist rotation with the holding hand as well. We have an ab crunch and I think a waist, though the skirt I think might hinder some of that maybe. The leg can go forward about that far, not all the way, but pretty good. The thigh does have a rotation. We have a double? Yeah, double hinge knee, I believe. We have ankle tilt, forward and back as well. I think that this cape is a little more, it's not soft goods, but it's not as hard, I don't think, as the Infinite cape. This over here, this hand, the other hand too, but the hand just pulls off and you can, if you like, would you like to replace it with an axe? Maybe you would prefer to replace it with his mace, or if you're so inclined, his spear. Or, I suppose, if you'd really like, and I'll do this just for you guys, we can always put a fist hand in, if you'd like. What's that? You want me to put back the open hand? I'm happy to oblige. Whew. The articulation is all there that I think you'd want. Oh, by the way, I guess I'll mention this. Can he hold the... Can he hold the shield? Yes, he can. Is it tight or is it loose? On my copy, I find it to be, well, okay, but I think it might be looser than I would like for it to be. Articulation, I'm going to give, an 8, I'm going to say, because the waist is somewhat hindered. Maybe it's not hindered. Maybe 8 was too harsh. Oh, and I didn't show this. Splits out about that far. I guess forward is a bit better than I thought too. I think maybe you need to loosen this guy up. I said an 8, but you know what? I think I'm going to up it to a 9. If that's okay with you, of course. So we had a 0 for the transformation, a 9 for the look, and a 9 for the articulation. While the average should probably be somewhere around a 7, honestly, Death's Head here is such an upgrade from this version, and I think probably such a formidable size to match up with other Transformers that I really, really think that the 9 that I gave him for 2 out of 3 scores is probably the overall score this guy deserves. I think this offering, and I'm not really into Marvel Legends that much, but I think this offering of Death's Head is pretty fantastic. Big, bulky, painted all over. Well articulated, though, like I said, you might have to loosen some joints up, and a ton of our accessories that are quite functional. Is this... I think the spikes are soft rubbery plastic, but this seems fairly solid. The mace seems more soft rubbery, and the axe seems very soft rubbery, and the shield is hard plastic, and the hands are, well, your typical hand plastic, don't you know? I think he's a 9. He's fantastic, he's fun, he's functional, and he displays excellently alongside Transformers. But of course, that's just my opinion on this guy. What do you think? And here we are once again, and here they are. Now, I really like the Marvel Infinite version of Death's Head. I thought he turned out very good, wouldn't you agree? But he is admittedly quite small, especially when you put him next to this guy, the Legends version, and I do think the Legends version is superior, yes? You may have also noticed that right through I have talked in question as much as I could because, well, If you didn't know, that's something that Death's Head is prone to do himself as well. And honestly, it's one of the most difficult things that I've tried to ever do in a review for you. Wouldn't you agree? The coloration here is not accurate to his interaction with the Transformers, but with other pieces of fiction, and I think it turned out very well. Wouldn't you agree? Again, the articulation is quite excellent, and it might be pinless. I can't really tell for sure. What do you guys think? I'm not sure about the elbows. The accessories are generally quite good. The look is good. The articulation is good. I think he is an absolute positive win, and not for nothing, but here he is as well, because I happen to have this handy, wouldn't you know, next to an older Voyager by way of Bludgeon, and like this guy has some heft to him now, don't you think? Enough that I really truly believe that he can stand up against any bot in the known Transformers universe. What do you guys think? Is he a win? Is he not? I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use that donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring at any given time. Please don't forget, not for a second, not for a moment, that you right there, you do make a difference each and every single day. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos. I just hope that you feel the same way as I do. Yes?